So in this slide we are going to study what are all the changes that are taking place within the ovary. So you can, in this figure you can appreciate the what is the here the primordial follicle. So here you can see that this is a single squamous flat epithelium that is going transferred into the cuboidal stratified epithelium. So this is the primary follicle and this is the primordial follicle, and this primary follicle is undergoing changes and forming the growing follicles, and they at last forming the mature follicle, at first forming the mature follicle known as a pre-ovulatory follicle, because this mature follicle will undergo ovulation process. It is the release of the spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte to be specific. In this secondary spermatocyte, if the fertilization occurs in the presence of sperm, then the formation of zygote takes place. So what is the growing follicles? In some textbook it is written like this: from the primordial to primary to secondary to tertiary to mature. And whereas some standard textbook it is written as primordial to primary to preantral to antral to mature. Mature also known as pre-ovulatory. So this is in standard books like Guyton. This in some embryology books like Yogesh. So here is the major difference. Some up to here it is same. Here instead of writing secondary and tertiary, they write as preantral, and they also present the antral. And these mature follicles, they also have something known as Theca cells. What are the Theca cells? So the Theca cells are get differentiated into two layers. One is the Theca interna, another is the Theca externa. Interna is the epithelioid granulosa like cells. Epithelioid like granulosa like cells, they are not granulosa cells, and they are derived from interstitium of the ovary. And Theca externa is just a vascular connective tissue capsule. Okay, these are present outside. This is the membrana granulosa, no? So these are the Theca. One is the Theca interna, this is the Theca externa. This is the Theca interna, this is the Theca externa. They are present outside the follicle. Okay, this is the follicular antron, you can see very clearly. This is the oocyte. Okay, so to come back in this slide, after this ovulation takes place, all these things will be forming into the corpus luteum. This corpus luteum will get degenerated to form the corpus albicans, that is white in color. It is a fibrous tissue. They get converted to the fibrous tissue. So all these changes that are taking place in the ovary are all together known as ovarian cycle, because they are taking place in a rhythmic fashion and monthly. So as they are taking place a rhythmic monthly cycles that are taking place in the ovary, they are known as a ovarian cycle. At the same time, another cycle known as endometrial cycle. The rhythmic changes that are taking place monthly in the endometrium are known as the endometrial cycle, whereas these all grouped under the female monthly sexual cycles. And when we say specifically in the ovary, we call the ovarian cycle, and specifically in the endometrium, we call the endometrium cycle. But if generally we call the female sexual monthly sexual cycle or the menstrual cycles. So when we are dealing with specifically with the ovary, we call the ovarian cycle. And as we all know, it can be different, can be classified into three parts, as we have already know. First is the follicular phase, second is the ovulation phase, and third is the luteal phase. Luteal phase means all these changes that are taking place. Okay, this is the luteal phase, this is the ovulation, and this is all the follicular phase. These are the three phases. Now, as an intellectual, the question must arise in your minds that I have said, if the fertilization do not take place, this corpus luteum is getting degenerated. But what happens to the corpus luteum if fertilization occurs? So, if the fertilization occurs, the answer is the corpus luteum will last for 4 months. And if do not occur, it lasts for nearly 2 weeks only, and after that it get degenerated. Whereas if fertilization takes place, it lasts for 4 months, and then it is known as corpus luteum of pregnancy, because this corpus luteum will give the progesterone, and progesterone helps in maintaining pregnancy. So this can also be asked as a MCQ, because which hormone helps in maintaining of pregnancy? That is the progesterone. And after the 4th month, it will degenerate, because there is no need. Why? Because after 4th month, the placenta start secretion of progesterone. So as the placenta has started secreting progesterone, there is no need of the corpus luteum of pregnancy. That is the reason why it will get degenerated after 4 months. So this is how the questions can be asked. So you must be very clear the concept.